Hey, Luis.
Hi, Rich, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. How's the week treating you guys?
Yeah, good. It's good.
That's good. That's good.
Which location are you at?
I'm in Toronto.
Sorry,
I'm in Toronto.
Toronto. Okay, okay.
I'm in Canada, yeah.
Oh,
How about yourself? You're in California?
yeah,
Nice, nice.
Fremont.
How's the weather right now?
Yeah, it is good. Getting cold slowly.
What's cold in California?
Yeah, much warmer climate than other places.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. A little jealous of you guys right now.
Mm.
Hey Luis,
Hey everyone, how's it going?
hey Brendan.
Good. Couple of minutes before starting.
Hey Louis, good evening.
Good evening.
Hey folks.
Hey Rish.
Okay, let's go 4 more minutes.
Before people joins, just Luis, I just wanted to ensure, there was a document shared that prerequisites.
Yes.
So if we are able to access the key and test it, that's all good, right?
Yes, so I'll walk through what the prerequisites are, just ensure that everyone has it. There might be some issues with some people getting some packages installed. So hopefully we can talk about those and try to find solutions for those who are trying to install some packages. But I'll go through pretty much what the file is, if anyone has any questions or how to get it. But I'll also do that in class as well. So this
Yeah.
this is just for people who can't get who are having issues trying to do it before class and getting
Uh,
started.
Yeah, for me, I didn't get. I followed the same document. I didn't get any issues. Yeah, I just
Okay,
wanted to ensure. Are
okay,
there?
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Then if you're able to go through the AI Studio, get yourself that key,
Yes.
and then set that as your environment, then you're good. We're good to go.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see this.
Louis, if it is possible, can you walk us through the steps? I received the document, but I'm pretty new to the Mac and I don't have other options.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
can you walk us through like what is virtual environment, how to set up that? Even prior to that, that would be really helpful.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay, now it's 9:33, so I can start now. So, let me see if I can pull up that document up, and then I can go through there.
Quick question.
Yes.
What operating system version the Mac should be? I have an old version,
Mm-hmm.
like 10.13. Will it work or?
Yeah, it should still work. Again, we're not using anything new. We're using the same command lines from, doesn't matter what version of Mac you're using, it's still the terminal. That if it's your first time doing anything on your computer and you're still having issues, there's two suggestions I would do. Is
Uh-huh.
one, you can try doing what I'll show everyone doing in terms of Mac, or you can also use Google Cloud Studio. And Google Studio, Google Colab is a free part as well, so it has everything already installed. All you do is click pip install and you type it in and it installs all the packages for you at once. You just have to do that during once during the thing, and you'll be able to run all the code yourself as well. So will give you those two solutions. So if you're having too much issues with your Mac and you don't know what, like sometimes you have to do a brew install because Macs have a different version of installing things. So you might have to do that first, but we can go through how to do that if you're having questions and issues at this session.
I have tried installing Homebrew, but that itself said, it's an old version, it doesn't support. That's where I just, didn't know whether I should continue or not.
Okay, if you're having issues with your brew and versioning, then I would suggest Google Colab. So I'll show you that quickly as well here.
Okay.
So
Okay.
let me just share my screen and we'll go through the different ways of asking it. So let me just share my screen. All right, so
Louis, sorry to interrupt. Do we have any agenda, or it's only question and answers today?
yeah, so today's not a class for those who are joining. Today's not a class. This is like an office hour for those
Yeah, I
who
know. Mhm.
have questions or things like that. So there's no agendas. It's just for people who have questions and answers or having issues trying to get things installed on the computer. So my job is to troubleshoot and sure they're all good for Saturday.
Got you. Thank you.
Yeah. So one thing I said is set up a virtual environment. So those are a good question of what is a virtual environment? What is it to Fresh? So any single time you have your Visual Studio open, you have an environment. An environment is pretty much where all your packages and everything you installed on your computer is. So when you have an environment, and let's say you used previous Python code in the past, you have to download different packages, and some of them have dependencies. So just like someone said in the chat that they had problems that certain dependencies are this or certain dependencies are that. I wasn't getting this, I wasn't getting that. It's because sometimes a package will need an older version to work or a newer version to work. And you're running one code, like let's say you're running your own Python code on one side, and then I tell you, okay, we're gonna be running a separate code, but need a newer version of LangChain or a newer version of Chroma. It's gonna mess up your packages because if you keep updating your packages, that means the ones that have dependencies on the older versions won't work anymore. You get crashes. So it's always best practice to, before you start something new, is to create a new environment. And to create a new environment is where you usually do it on your terminal. If you have a PC on your PowerShell, or you have, for those who are Visual Studio codes, do it there. And there's really tons of videos that can walk you through how to create a virtual environment. It's really not that hard, but I can help walk through a couple of things to help individuals understand a little bit about that. So that's what the virtual environment is about. The second part is packages. So once you have a fresh virtual environment, you pretty much you do a pip install. So you click hashtag, or you put exclamation mark pip install this, pip install this, pip install this, and pip install this. So you're installing just the packages that we need. There's not a lot. Everyone should have pandas install their computer. Everyone should have .env. OpenAI, I put it in here. It's going to be optional, but we'll be using a little bit different ones as well, and the LangChains that are going to be installing. And then the second last part is the AI Studio from Google. So this is probably the easiest one for those who haven't done this yet. You simply just go to the link from there. Once you're in here, you should be able to log in with your Google login credentials if you have a Gmail account. This is a development site that I used to work with Google that we would use here to do testing. So in this test environment, it's actually all free. So in Gemini Pro, you have to pay for things, you have to do this, you have to do that. This actually lets you play with Gemini and lets you play with the different models at no cost at all, because this is really a developer site that we have special access to. So all you have to do on this site is click Get API.
Luis, one quick question. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
When we go to that site, it gives two options. Use a Google AI Studio or develop in your environment using Get API key. Which one we should use?
You should click on the studio first. So you should be able to see the studio, should be able to get here.
Oh, Studio only. Okay.
Yeah, studio.
Then you can get the API key later. Okay.
Yes.
And this is the virtual environment. You will go over again that how to create that steps. This is just only Google side.
Yeah, this Google site. So let me know, log in first. Let me know if you get to this site first. If you want to do it side by side, that's fine.
Hey, Luis, sorry to jump in between. So are you going to send the like the instructions for these actually? I do have the Python everything on my system in the worst case. I just want to get onto the Google AI Studio in case,
Yeah,
right?
I sent it to the leaders of the group to send it over. You should have that prereq already. Did they not
Oh,
put it
okay,
in the Gen AI group? They should be there.
sure,
Yeah,
probably.
it's in
Okay,
the Gen AI training. Yeah, it's called
okay,
prerequisite topics. Yeah.
okay. I will check it out. Thank you.
Yeah.
So is that it actually? Is it all what you're discussing today?
Yes, it's pretty much just helping people who have issues trying to get in there, and that's it. Yeah, there's no
Oh,
class.
wonderful.
It's simply just
Oh, wonderful, wonderful,
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
Hey, and like by the way, I was rereading the doc. Oh my God, it's amazing, man. Wealth of information.
Hopefully it's good enough, man.
Really, it is a wealth of information. I had to go in and then try to understand what tensors are. I got into the whole linear algebra thing.
Oh
It
wow.
was
Satya,
it was
which
mind-boggling.
document you're talking? Are you talking about the slides or
Slides, actually.
oh, slides? Okay.
Yeah. So it was mind-boggling, Luis. But thanks a lot,
Hopefully,
actually.
hopefully it gets you deeper into it. And again, this is just an introduction course. I
Right,
might do
right,
an advanced course as whoever is more interested to get deeper into like the architecture and stuff like that. But we might look at it as a
right.
second
Yeah.
thing.
So I don't want to, take over this, like while you're helping others actually, but I just want to appreciate, like the, how much appreciation I have for, what I'm reading, right? As I
Thanks.
said, right, I was looking at the linear algebra where they explain the whole vector, scalar, everyone knows, a vector, and then tensors and all of that stuff. Oh my God. I got a
There's a
little
lot.
deep into and then stepped back, like, no, this is not, I would say your slides, whatever the minimum I required to understand the
Yeah.
tensors, I stopped there and then went into understanding the slides itself, actually.
Yeah. Like you could go down rabbit holes, but if you're not getting
Yeah,
deeper
yeah.
into neural networks here, it's better off just to know the fundamentals.
Right. Yeah. Thanks, Luis. Okay,
No
I'll drop
worries.
off. Yeah.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
no worries. Thanks. So were you able to get to this site? Rahim, I know you were going to do the same thing as well.
We are
Yeah.
able to get through it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we're able to guess. Yes.
So when you click get a API key, all you do is create API, and then your API should be here, right? And then all you do is copy that, and that's all you need to be doing our exercises this week, at least this Saturday, because then you'll just be entering your API key where I'll be putting in GitHub, and as you can see, it's free of charge. So we can test with this as much as we want. What is the main part of running our projects this Saturday is this API key. So it doesn't matter if you're running on Google Colab or where it is. So there's a question about where can I run something if I don't have it. So Google Colab is a free part. You can go on Google search, type in Google Colab. You can sign in.
What's the difference
So
between
you can
Colab
just say
and AI
I'm running
Studio?
a new notebook. So AI Studio is for those who to create the API key
Okay.
and to get it working. I'm showing for those who have issues installing Python on their computers, who have issues installing packages. Google Colab is just as a version for people for another option for those who don't have those accesses, or the computer might feel like the computer might not be fast enough or to run it, or they might running into versions. All you do is Google Colab. You can add a token, add a new secret, or create a Gemini API key. I add a new secret, you call it Gemini, and you would paste in here your API key, and then that's it. Like that's all you would need to do to start running the packages. Now, on the notebooks itself, we'll have certain packages that need to be installed. So you just click is run, and that's it. And the Google Colab is free for everyone. And because we're only using APIs, there's no hardware, there's no GPU usage or anything like that. So you don't have to worry about having a powerful notebook place to run. All you just need a place to run it. So this is just another option for those who have issues running the pip install and running pressure environments on their computer.
So, Luis, if I understand correctly, we don't need to install Python or any other things if we are willing to use this Colab.
Correct. Colab already has everything installed pretty much in here. Your basic environment creates a fresh environment for you.
Okay.
And all you do is copy your notebook that we'll be working on in here, and you're
Okay.
good to go.
So actually one query we have received from one of our member, Gautam, is there any feasibility to create the Docker environment and share? But I think instead of creating Docker image, this sounds to be a great idea.
Yeah, like honestly, I saw it, but we're only installing 2 packages, right? Like it's only pandas and LangChain. So for me just to create a new Docker environment just for two packages, I just think it's too much. If I had like 10 or 15 packages that need to be working in order to make it run, then I understand why I need a Docker image. But it's only 2
Okay.
LangChain and pandas. There's no really a need to to create
Yeah.
a Docker image for that.
Yeah. That's fine. And anyways, we have this Colab as well. If people don't want to install anything or have troubles installing in their local environments, we can go ahead and use the Colab, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll pass on that information.
No
Yeah.
worries.
Thank
Okay,
you.
perfect. No worries.
Is it make sense to take pro version for us, or looks like it's a
No.
pro?
Yeah, I use this because when I do I run trainers and things like that. I need like GPUs. So I have when you have the pro version, it lets you access to use GPUs because my MacBook isn't that strong, not that powerful enough. So that's why I have the pro version and I only pay like 14 bucks a month for it. So to me, it's a cheaper option to do this than to spend $3,000, $4,000 on a gaming rig and have a bunch of graphics cards that way. So you don't it's for me you don't need the pro version. You can just use the basic version. And since we're only using APIs, there's no need for any GPUs.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think those are like the two biggest things I wanted to talk about for this side, which were how to get the API key. And this pretty much name your API key, what's in here, Gemini API key, because that's what we're going to be adding in to our Visual Studio. So that's that part. So I know there's some questions around the pip install around a Mac, and if you don't have Brew installed as well. So let's see here.
So either or, right? So either you're doing this virtual environment creating yourself using pip installment, or you
Yes.
can use the Google Colab.
Yes, correct. Correct. So today's office hours isn't a class for those who are just joining. Today's office hours is for those who have questions about installing packages or getting the API keys. That was part of the prerequisite folder today.
So how frequent creating virtual environment?
Sorry?
About virtual environment?
Yes, it's for those who have, if you are have not created any Python and not used anything in your computer before, you don't need to do this. It's mostly for those who are doing this for the first, who have used different packages in the past
I see.
and conflict with what they have. But if you don't have any packages or you never tried to install packages before, just do a straight install of these packages and that's it. You don't need to create a new environment from there.
Just one quick question. Is the expectation is before the next Saturday class, the expectation is everyone to have the environment set up?
So my expectations for this class is everyone should have the Gemini API key. There's a Git that should have been shared with everyone that we're going to be walking through the different classes. So let me just go to. So I'm going through these foundation notebooks. In the class, there'll be this Saturday, and I'll be going through each one. So if you want, so again, I'll be like my expectation of the class is as I'm going through it, as I'm going through this, they already show you what versions you already like. I have everything already set up of just run this code, 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 run this code. Like I already created all the codes for everyone. All you have to do
I think my
is
main
run.
question, though, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I thought in the last Saturday, the expectation for today is to have office hours for asking any questions they didn't follow from the last class. But because I joined with that assumption, I was also hoping the setup is done in the next class. I was wondering, not just for me, I'm wondering others who have not attended today with that expectation. So if you're repeating the setup, just making sure everyone's setup is ready in the next class, it's okay. Otherwise, I need to be preparing for that as well, since I'm already anyway here. That's the reason I'm asking.
Actually,
Yeah,
Subbu, that is a good question, and I like this actually, because I was expecting the same thing. The office hours should be based on whoever missed the first class, or if there are any questions from the first class. But it appears to be everybody's talking about virtual environment jumping ahead to the next session. So, Luis, if you can do just a recap of what we discussed in the last class, like terms. Like what is a decoder and encoder, what you talked about, what is AI, generative AI, just only briefly touch the terms, like a recap. That helps people, I'm thinking.
Beam recording is already there. This I thought the office hours are whatever questions people have from the last session and then set up for the next class, right? That is what
No, I'm fine with that as well. I'm fine with that.
because we have a recording, right? We have a recording of everything that has been covered.
No, let me.
We have already done the recording, and then if you have any questions, probably we can ask in the interest of everyone's time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me take it. Actually, yes, this is intended for the questions. In the last session, Luis mentioned that we need to be ready with the few of these installations. So we thought it's good if Luis can go ahead with what are the setup needed for the next class, so that everyone will be ready with the setup. Also, this one is also recorded, and we will be sharing this recording soon. So whatever Luis have gone through now, whoever couldn't make it, they can go through the recording and do it. And yeah, if anyone has questions regarding the previous session, yes, we can handle that as well now.
So is it fair to say that before we join next Saturday class, everyone need to be ready with the setup?
Yes.
Okay, because that wasn't clear. That's the reason I'm bringing up here.
Okay. That was Luis made it clear in the last session.
Okay, it's so probably perhaps I missed it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's okay. But yeah, it's clear. We will be sending the message again in the group as well. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. That makes sense why people are asking the set of questions.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. I'm good. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, Subbu. Luis, do you have something to go over this thing, or shall we ask members to go ahead with their questions regarding the last session?
Yeah, there was just one quick question about if they needed what they needed to run or what was ready for it. So again, I just want to reiterate to individuals that all you have to do is be able to clone these notebooks from GitHub and be able to run it. And what you need is that API key, and that's the most important part of this. So again, just go through the prerequisite folder, prerequisites, and get the API key in order to run the different notebooks that we'll be going through in class.
So that GitHub link, will you be sharing that also?
Yeah, so I think Surathi, if you're able to also take note of that, make sure everyone has access to it before the class so that they know what we're going to be going through.
Sure.
So I just had one more question. Is there a Docker image or something, right, with all the prerequisites so that it becomes easy for us to just install and use it?
Yeah, and that was a question that Hatson had before that I was answering in the beginning. The reason why I didn't do a Docker image is simply because there's only two packages, which is Pandas and LangChain, just to get installed on your computer, just to make sure you have all the configurations up. So I just figured if it's just Pandas, that everyone should have Pandas on their computer already as part of a main important package. And then just the LangChain installs from there, right? So I don't think it's necessary to create a Docker images for 2 packages. If I had 5 or 6 that would have conflicting things, then I would, but it's simply just the pip install for those 2 packages.
Ah, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
also,
tried, I tried following the steps. In just 10-15 minutes, I was able to install everything, except that OSIS, I was having some issues. But other than that, like, it's a straightforward steps, Gautam.
so Gautam, one
Yes,
more
which
thing.
document did you follow? Is that the a document, that Word document
Yes,
that is been tagged to the channel?
that's right. That's right.
Okay, thank you.
So the key is like you follow that pipenv. So install the pipenv and then try to create the environment, right? So then follow the steps. It's straightforward.
Yeah, first of all, we need to create a virtual environment like Python 3.1 or whatever maybe. After that, I think each and every step is straightforward. That's what I believe.
So even for Windows also it's the same, right? It's
I
Yeah, it should be
followed
the-
for Windows and it worked pretty straightforward.
okay. Thank you.
And one more thing Louis shared just some time back was we have the Colab environment. So where everything is installed. So if someone have troubles or don't want to install any external libraries in the local machine, they can go ahead and use the Colab environment, which is online. In the Colab environment, everything is readily installed.
Correct.
Yeah, on that one, Luis, do you have any instructions on how to get going with the collab?
Yeah, Colab is pretty much straightforward. It's like as soon as you sign in, it will take you
Okay.
to like right to your first notebook. You just click
Right,
notebook.
yeah, I saw that. So I was wondering any steps beyond that. Just create a new notebook and go from there. That's about it.
Yeah, you see this password here. You
Yeah.
click the secrets, you add your Gemini, as I said here on the prerequisites folder. Call it Gemini API key.
Okay.
And just copy and just paste in your token. Gemini API key, and you just paste in your token and make sure it gets accessed, and that's it. And you're good to go to run the files, and you're good to
Oh,
go.
I see.
Yeah,
I
that's
see.
pretty
Okay.
done.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
So that password brings in the virtual environment required for our lab, is it?
Correct. So if you're using Google Colab, it's really straightforward. You just sign in, open that page, just put in the Gemini token, Gemini Google API key that we're using, and then you clone in the notebooks that I showed you that's on GitHub, and that's it.
Somebody
So I'll
was
be sure-
talking about Google Doc. Word doc. Where is the
Yeah,
Word
so
doc?
it's a Word doc, correct. And then on
Where is it at?
Saturday, I'll be going through how to clone it into Google Colab or to your computer. And that way we'll be all doing it together, right? So Saturday is more of that working session. It's going to be 30% slides. Like I said, 30% slides might be going over again the main concepts of what we're going to go over in the notebooks. And then we're going to go in the notebooks itself, running code by code, line by line together.
Beam, the collab, like the Word document is in the WhatsApp chat.
Correct.
And where would you use Colab and where would you use virtual environment?
So
Do we need
Colab, yeah. So Colab is it really depends on how much resources and power you have. If your computer has really good RAM, you have good like 16 gigs of RAM, you have a graphics card in your computer, and you're comfortable running things like, again, we're not doing anything powerful. We're not doing any deep learning on a computer or anything like that. Like it's enough to run. But if you feel like your computer is a little older, you don't have enough RAM, you might only have 4 or 6 gigs of RAM on your computer, Google Colab is a good option to start running right away. And
So it's one or other, either of them, right? Not both.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Luis, so do you expect the GPUs to be used if people are using Colab?
No, so they're not going to be using any GPUs. The APIs, that's what the APIs are for. All the GPU usage will be done on the Google. They'll be doing on their side. We're just calling the APIs to run our notebooks.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Hi, Luis.
Yeah.
I created the API key while adding the API key in the environment. I'm using Collab.
Yep.
It says syntax error, invalid syntax.
And were you putting it as the name or?
I opened Python notebook and then I'm running that command.
So you can also put it right as a code if you're having that syntax error here as well. So just write like so let me just exit this. Let me type in. Copy. So just run to like a basic host, and then there's a workaround. I'll just put it in the chat as well. That you simply just do this, and it'll also get stored in your environment.
Oh, okay.
So there we go. My keyboard was trying to connect. So you put import OS, and then you just type in os.environment. And you put your Gemini key in here. And then you just type it in whatever you want for your Gemini key. And then you save it. Then once you save it as well, it'll save to your environment.
Your screen is not shared, Louis.
Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Sorry. Okay, let me know if you can see my screen now.
Yes. Thank you.
I don't know why it's not letting me copy and paste. GN. Maybe. I need to put equal so I can just make one up right now, right?
Do we need to have equal in the Gemini API key also or no? It is.
Yeah, let me just.
Yeah, that's what
So let me just call in here. But I'm just an example, right? It's not my API key, but all you do is this. If you're having issues, just do that. I put the same thing in the Word doc. So there.
Yeah, this works. So thank you.
Yeah, does it not work
Yeah,
now?
you take out one more code before Gemini API key, it works. Take out
Yeah.
one more code in the
Okay.
beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that.
could take out or add one more code.
Yeah, take out that, then it works.
Yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, just giving you just an example of what it is, it's in that part. Yeah.
Actually, Louis, I keep getting that when I try to install OS6, it says pipfile.lock. I am unable to lock it. I try to delete it and run again.
So are you using in your
terminal local? Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go through some troubleshooting. You might have to share your terminal.
Luis, one quick question. So you can't copy the Gemini key as a secret?
Because you should be able to create, you should be added as a secret here. You should be able to write Gemini underscore key. And then you should be able to paste into your key in here.
Are you sharing something?
Oh, sorry. Let me, did it stop sharing? Sorry.
Okay.
Yep. So if you want to save it into your secrets, you just click on the key right here.
Uh-huh.
and you just type it in here. Gemini API key is your name, and then you just paste here the code that you get from Google Studio.
It's not taking, even though I'm trying to paste it. That's my question was.
Was it not saving for you?
Yeah, it's not saving. I see still blanking out there. I can type it, but
Right, and
trying to paste
right.
it, it's not
It should
taking
be
it.
able to.
Yeah, I can type it, but when I try to paste it from my yeah, it's not taking it from my what is it called?
So you have to type it in.
From a scratch pad, yeah, it's not taking it. Maybe I'm not sure why. I mean,
Yeah, so that might be. It
it doesn't make sense, right? Then let me
copy and
do
paste
it
it
one
right.
more time.
But
No, it's
we'll
no
jump
my
back to that.
my
And there was a
problem.
question about the issue of the pip file lock. So I just want to address that first before we jump back into that one, because I know there's some issues with some parts of there. So for those who are having issues, its most important part of that is to do this code first. It's called pkill. Anything that's processing is happening there. This RM means remove anything in there. So if there's a file lock in there, this RM will remove all that file lock. If we remove the cache as well, in case anything's stored in the background, this would be your next file. And make sure we have the latest pip. So you upgrade your pip to make sure you always have the latest one. And then try again. So again,
Louis, I tried all these steps, but still it's giving error.
okay,
Let
I
me
sent you a new
share.
one in the chat. I'm not sure if you saw that, Lisu, if you saw in the chat.
Yeah, I tried those steps also.
And what error are you still getting from that?
That other error gone, like whatever morning, like module resolver, that resolver module, that is gone after following these steps, like uninstalling the pip and then installing again. So, but like again, that file locking, that pip lock file error is coming.
Okay. So like again, so can you try, did you try the new ones I just put in the code on the chat right now for the pip lock file?
Yesterday you gave these steps,
Same
right?
one?
Like so I tried everything, those steps.
Okay, what we can do maybe is after after office hours, we can just work on it together and just
Sure.
message me and we can just try if we can force your Mac to respond.
Yeah, it's a new Mac only. I don't know.
Okay, that's why.
So if we install them out of a virtual environment and then create virtual environment, like will it pick all the libraries installed from the base version, or like means out of the virtual environment?
Yeah, so when you do a fresh install on the virtual environment, it's supposed to wipe out any package that's installed, and you should be having like nothing. You have no codes. You won't even have pandas. You won't have import OS. You have to install all the basic packages all over again. But it's just to make sure there's no dependencies. But if you're still, my question is, if you haven't used any packages on your computer before, you haven't run any Python, just try running just pip install pandas and pip install the LangChains. And if you can get those installed on your computer and you don't have any errors and issue errors, then just do that then. If you haven't used any packages in the past.
I didn't use any of these LangChain, any of these things. So all of them got installed successfully. Only this OS is only having this issue.
So just creating the new virtual environment is your issue? Is that the only, or is there a certain package as well? Is it the OS dot hyphen SIS?
Yeah, OS-6, that is the package. It is failing.
Okay, and when you install that, you get an error in the installation?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the error that you get on doing that?
So you mean outside or like outside virtual environment or like
Yeah,
inside?
is it because sometimes you have to do, because it's a Mac, you might have to do sudo pip install.
Oh, okay.
So try this. I put in the chat sudo pip install OS and see if that installs.
So in the virtual environment also we have to do sudo pip and
Yeah, it's a Mac thing.
okay, let me try with that then.
Because you might get permissions locked, right? Because these new Macs have all new permissions and things like that, and that sudo should help to pass that lock, hopefully.
Hey, Luis, this is dear. What do you mean by virtual environment? In the document it said start creating a virtual environment. What do you mean by virtual environment?
So if you haven't, so the virtual environments for those who have used Python packages in the past on their computer, who haven't used Visual Studio Code, those who are using different dependencies, and this is what I explained in the beginning. It's for those to have a fresh environment so it doesn't conflict with any previous packages installed before. But if this is your first time working with Python, downloading it on your computer, getting it all set up, you don't have to worry about creating a virtual environment. You just simply go in and install the packages and you should be good to go.
Okay, and CodeLab, if I have a Mac Air or something, I should be able to run that on my local, right? I don't need CodeLab, right?
No, you should be able to run everything on your local machine. Google Colabs for those who just an alternative who have issues running the packages
on the local.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, even with sudo it is failing.
It's failing. Do you mind pasting in the chat what the error is?
Yeah, this one same failed to lock pip file dot.
Okay, let's try one more. Let's try one more force proof. Let's see if we can skip the lock.
Then it is giving different error. Couldn't install. Yeah, I think this error I got even when I tried to install outside the virtual environment as well.
So one way to check if it's actually installed on your computer, if you can open a notebook and just put import OS, if you're able to run that one line and don't get an error running that one line,
okay.
That means you should already have something installed. So example here, just put import OS, you run it and you get a check mark that it's good to go, then you should have that in there. If you don't have that, if you get an error, it's because you don't have that in there, and then that's one of the main keys to pull in your secret. So we'll definitely need to work on getting you that. But if you can just try that.
Yeah, I think import OS is not showing any error like in the I tried in the VS Code so created a Python test file.
Perfect. Yeah, that works, and that means you already have OS. It's for those who are just starting brand new again and they don't have in the OS system. Then, if you can import it, that's already installed on your computer, and you're good to go.
Oh, then we need not worry about this package.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, since yesterday I was struggling to it. Okay.
So there's a question in the chat saying, does Colab come with the necessary below packages? So from Google Colab import user data secret name. So I was saying before that in Google Colab, you could import your secrets this way, or you can go on, if you're using Google Colab as a way of going around it, you click on Google Colab and you can click on this little key and you type in Gemini API key and you paste in your API key from the studio. That's the workaround if you're onto that. So it won't come, your Google Colab won't come with this. This is something you have to enable into it.
No, I asked this question, but accidentally I typed from Google Colab import statement. But my main question is, you have pandas, pythons, .env, OS, and OpenAI, all of the packages.
Yeah, so all those are already installed in Google Colab. Like you don't have to install those already.
Okay, they're prepackaged for you.
Yeah, they're already part of the prepackaged in Google Colab, so you're good to go.
Okay, that means all you have to do is just install Colab and get an API key. You're done pretty much.
Yeah, like that. That's the benefit of using Colab. I like it because it's simple. You don't have to worry about installing things, messing up your computer, and it's free, right? For those who are doing the free package, and
All right.
and go from there, right? So
I'm a free man. So, thank you. Bye, guys.
Luis, I'm trying to import the Python -.env in Colab. It says invalid syntax.
yeah, you don't need to create a new environment if you're using Google Colab, because every single time you go into the notebook, it creates a new environment for you. So you don't have to worry about that step if you're using Google Colab.
No, I'm trying to import the package python.env. So we don't.
Yeah, so the Python, which one, the python.env? This one, this one .env? The python-.env, I just want to make sure that's the one that you're talking about.
Yes, that's the one.
So if you want to check if it's in there, again, you can do pip install.
Oh, do I need to install them?
Yep, you can do install right in the notebook as well.
Oh, okay. I was directly using it. Okay.
To double check, but if it's not there, it'll just download it right for you. You don't need it, and you can just type it. You can just type right it in, and it'll install all the packages you want. And to make a new code, you just click new code, and you keep downloading the next one if you want. But for the packages for this Saturday, sorry, just make sure you have the OS and the python.env. LangChain, if we get to it, we'll get to LangChain, but the most important part I want everyone to have is their API key from Gemini. So like I said before, we're going to be going into the GitHub. We're going to be running all these notebooks in class. So if you want to use this in your Google Colab, you can. All you have to do, you can download it. You can then upload it to your Google Colab, or you can clone all the Colab files in here from the GitHub and have them all in here in your files. I'll be running everything from my Visual Studio Code, just to show for everyone who's running on their own computer how that looks like, and we'll go from there.
And I got the same error, whatever you are having wheel, but looks like this is already installed. We can use it in import OS and import sys2 commands. I can check.
Yeah, that's what he was telling. So if it is already there, I think, I don't know, it should have given error.
No,
it shouldn't give any
here
such
actually
error
the
or
thing
something.
is, right now it is whatever the new version, it is two separate libraries. One is OS, another one is sys.
Oh, there is no OS -sys.
-sys. There is no OS -sys. It has separate libraries. One is OS, import OS, and import sys. I think it has two separate libraries installing. It's already installed.
Okay.
Is the Git URL is already shared? I didn't find it anywhere.
Not yet. Like I think.
Just the
Oh, okay.
prerequisites. Just the prerequisites. Yeah.
Oh, it's a prereq before Saturday.
So
Yeah.
So Saturday I'll be sharing some slides again. I'll be going through half-hour slides, and then the other hour and a half we'll be going through the notebooks of each one and running each one together.
Okay. So okay.
So for those who have the Colab ran all the pip install, we are good.
Yep, you should be good. And if you have the API key installed in your environment as Gemini API key, that's all you need.
Okay, thanks. That's done. I have one quick question apart from this. Is it okay to ask the question beyond this?
Yeah, of course, of course.
So I'm trying to fine tune. So it's basically if a service ticket comes in, I need to hierarchically say 3 levels of hierarchy. I have to predict the categories in the 3-level hierarchy of categories. So is
So
it?
sorry, I can't hear you. So I think so everyone else can if everyone else can go on mute just for a second. I think we're getting some feedback.
Yeah. So basically, I need to hierarchically categorize the service ticket into 3 levels of hierarchy. Okay. So should I train that as is it a chart completion or classification?
So that's a really good question. So so let's say the business case is you need to classify service tickets into 3 different categories, correct?
Yeah, hierarchical.
Yeah. So saying that if you have this service ticket, so can you give me an example? Like, let's say level 3, let's say if it's level 3, then you need to go to this category, then needs to go to that category, right? Like,
Yeah. Say, for example, it can be technology, website as higher level, technology like a telephone system or your phone example or fax.
So how I would train the model myself would have, here's a service ticket, and it would sort of have level 1, the level hierarchy, like as your number 1 hierarchy, as like the output is level 1 is your first top hierarchy. Level 2 is your second hierarchy, and level 3 is your third hierarchy, right? And you give it examples of different in the fine-tuning, all the service tickets and all the levels as level 1, this, level 2, this, level 3, this. So you can call it hierarchy 1, hierarchy 2, hierarchy 3. You can, whatever you want training convention to be, but you would all keep it in the same bracket. So it would know that this ticket needs this, this, and this. And then your next column, you would have your next example, and then you would have next category hierarchy 1, this hierarchy 2, this hierarchy 6, and all in sort of in a bracket, and sort of like you can have it. It depends how you want to put it, like in a JSON format, or you can have it on a square bracket, whatever you want it to be, so that the model will know that when you see a ticket like this, to know to categorize, it needs to be it needs to be a multi-class classification. So you need to train it as a classification model, not a chat one from that point.
So I'm trying to do it on Azure. Like there is only 5 model is allowed to fine tune, and so there and the only way I can give a chart completions are available for me to fine tune. So I'm thinking like give it as a JSON-L file. That's the only file it accepts. So in the JSON file, like you give a context saying that you're a service ticket agent, and give the description and the AI assistant response with those 3 categories. That's how I'm thinking to do.
Which model is it that you're working on?
Only available model is 5-3 medium or mini PHI.
Microsoft's model, 5 model mini. Okay, you can do you know what you actually I was gonna get to this in later classes, but on AI Studio.
Yeah, in AI Studio. Yeah.
So I'll show you so you can practice. So on AI Studio, you can click My Tuned Library.
Yeah.
So you can create your structured prompt in your prompt in here.
Yeah.
So you can try and practice yourself putting service ticket here, and then you put the 3 different categories you want.
Yeah.
You can import that into there, and then you can choose the tuning model from there, and then tune it, and then practice this way. And if you're getting bad results, or not getting the format that you want, good thing about this is that when you try it, it's not costing your company money, and you're learning it, and this is a fast way for you to test how well your training data looks like, and going from there, right? So I definitely suggest as you do this, try, like I said before, I would say keep a JSON format, because JSON format's really easy to extract, right? Whatever thing you have is, here's a service ticket, put in JSON format of hierarchy 1, this, hierarchy 2, that, hierarchy 3, this. as the output, and then tune the model on that, on let's say 500, like let's say 100 examples that you have of it, and then ask questions and say, how would you, what are the different categories you would categorize this ticket, right? And grab one that you haven't done before and see if it's doing it properly.
Yeah.
It's definitely a popular use case that you're doing.
Sorry, definitely.
It's definitely a popular use case that you're doing.
Yeah.
My company does a lot of the service tickets now, and it's the FI model is actually really good for classification. So
Yeah. Yeah, previously, like I had a good, I mean, in my team, I had EPAM people, they were very good.
okay, awesome. Yeah.
Basically,
We're
yeah, they were from Ukraine, Belarus.
Yeah, it all depends on where your company feels paying more. Sometimes they like, a company may be like, okay, for those who are, for context, I work for a company called EPAM, which is a consulting company, that is software development. So they employ my company to come in and do like they either come in to do projects, either Gen AI or whatever software development they need. So they contract my people. But sometimes a company might be like, well, we're only willing to pay this much, or we're willing to pay that much. So we can't afford someone from Canada, we can't afford someone from the United States, you need to go from somewhere for Europe, right? So then we have to go, we have our companies all over the world. So we have people in Europe, we have people in Colombia, we have people in Brazil, and each one has like a different rate. So whatever whatever the company feels like paying, and so no, I don't want to go expensive, like get someone cheaper from Ukraine. So that's why.
Actually, I had people on site also. Like I had
awesome.
15 people in total, but like there were about 4 people from EPAM. So I had 1 person here and then 2 people and then like they frequently visited to US.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. And I built a configurable real-time ingestion based on Scala, Databricks, and Avro schema, so that you could land from the message any attribute on a pre-configured location with the transformations and the joins.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And Luis, actually, so that OS error, it's coming, but yeah, that import worked. One thing was in the AI Studio, actually, I don't see secret, or I don't see where you ran that import command actually in the AI Studio.
Yeah, so AI Studio is only for getting the API key. You only need it to do the API key. That's all pretty much you're doing.
Okay.
You're getting the API key, copying it.
I have it, yeah.
Then if you're not using your computer, if you're not using Visual Studio, you're not using your computer, and you only want to use Google Colab, you go to Google Colab, and then you would import your secrets into your Gemini.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. I had to go to Colab. Okay, got it.
Yeah. You'll go to Colab too if you want to do work there. So one question would be, I know we have 2 minutes left. Is there any important questions other than what we discussed and what we were able to discuss today? No, I'm really excited for this class on Saturday. We're going to be going through prompting. What the different ways of prompting is. Again, you may be very familiar with it if you're going to fine tunings or if you've done things before. I definitely want to get deeper into what kind of tasks that LLMs are really excelling. How can you modify it? Really get into the prompting techniques, prompt engineerings, because this is what really would make your next RAG, your next your next agent that you create really stand out, right? Because then if you can make a really good, strong prompt that's able to hit the nodes like we talked before, then the model will react a certain way and the way you want it to. So we're really excited for the next class that we're doing. Okay, perfect. All right. Someone, if someone doesn't see the prerequisites,
I
You
mean,
know, I'm
GitHub
just
does.
saying that some people are asking these imports, user data get. I don't see that in the Word document or prerequisites. Why they're jumping in? I mean, is it like jumping ahead, or I don't see anywhere mentioning about this packages.
which packages I don't see.
So
where-
if you see the chain of question there, Subbu asked, as Colab comes with the necessary below packages from
Oh, it's because it's because lots of people who are using Macs, and some have the latest versions of Macs installed on their computer, which comes with certain locks in their terminal. So when they install it on their MacBook, they're having issues. So this is me just helping troubleshoot them, because they're running into locks of not being able to install the packages. So you don't have to worry about those.
Okay, no
Yeah.
problem. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
yours.
using Google Colab anyway. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, perfect. You're all good to go. All right, guys, that's the office hours. So again, any major questions, make sure you can put them in the WhatsApp group, and we'll see you Saturday. All right, bye everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
And Shravanti, can you share the GitHub link if possible?
Yeah, I think they'll be sharing that GitHub link
It's
soon.
already shared in the WhatsApp group just some time back.
Oh, okay. Okay, maybe I missed it. Okay, I'll check it. Thank you.
Thanks, see you everyone.
During the session, yeah, just few minutes back. That's it.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Luis.